Hey everybody, it's Justin Prime. This week I'll be going over some major changes that I am undergoing. I'm also going to be taking the artist inventory challenge as I always do, where I hold myself accountable for the week, the good and the bad. Plus, I'll be discussing a tool I'm using, someone I follow, someone who follows me, and we will learn what this week's Lab 5 weekly challenge is. Plus, I have a brand new segment that I'll be starting. I have a goal for this week also. I'm not going to be doing this in segments besides this intro here. I want to build the skill of being able to do the entire podcast all at once so that I can start doing live streams in the future. So, besides this, it's all one segment, one take. Enjoy. So each week I start off the podcast by mentioning the last person in my Instagram feed, which I'll do, but I'm also going to do something a little bit different this week. So I should have had this ready, but I didn't. Let me check out the last person in my Instagram feed is Chuck on the Beat _ fan page. So I have no idea what Chuck on the Beat is, but thank you for appearing in my newsfeed. But this is really dedicated to someone else. His name is StoneSlab0505. He's a listener, and he was a member of the Discord community. And I didn't have to, but I chose to, I hate to put it this way, but to boot him out. And it's nothing he did whatsoever. It's just he's a youngin'. He's 12 years old, and I don't mean any disrespect by that, because I know you're listening. But he and I talked about it, and I think he understood why. But the Discord community, there's a lot of swearing and language and suggestive jokes that I don't know. I felt kind of weird about it, and I was thinking like I wouldn't let my 12-year-old child be a part of a community with adult males, whether it's my son or my daughter. It just didn't feel right, and so I was putting myself in the shoes of Stone Slab's parents, and I can't. It just felt wrong to me. So yeah, so I'm sorry about that, dude. I think you know how I feel about it. But I wanted to dedicate this to you, and I really hope you keep in contact with us. Yeah, I hopefully people are reaching out to you from the community, and that you feel okay, saying what's up to them and getting feedback and whatnot still. So yeah, I appreciate you being a listener and for being a part of the community. But this kind of inspired me to start thinking about the way I present myself, and the way that I present myself to my own family and the audience that I'm trying to reach, which is families, parents, parents that create specifically. I think that's a big audience I would like to reach. Um, so, and also, with AstroPig, it's a family thing. So that's kind of, I feel like I should be going in that direction of not swearing in particular. So that's something I'll talk about a little bit later. As far as the topical commentary, there's some major changes that I've been doing. One of them I'll talk about is swearing, but the other one is recently I donated all my remaining prints, and it was a lot. It was a lot of prints, and my remaining Sculpture Stories comics. That's issue 1 and 2, both covers. And I had a pretty good chunk of those also. I donated those to Al's Comics. It's a local comic shop that's been here for like 30 years. So it was really cool and felt good to do that. He seemed happy. He doesn't seem like a guy that's easy to please, but he smiled. It seemed like he was happy. In the picture, you can see his face. He's not smiling. He's just, that's Al, And I didn't plan on this, but I gave those to him right in time for free comic book day. So I believe he gave out the prints and the comics for free, but I'm not totally sure. But a couple of people posted they had my issues on their Instagram feed and tagged me, so that was kind of cool. They each got my card, so that felt good to donate to them. But really, it felt really good to get that stuff out of my out of my out of my office here, out of the studio. It's just because I'm I'm moving on. Like I've spent a lot of time talking about that, so it feels good to actually move on, not from the not just from the comic, but also from all those prints that I was just kind of hanging on to. Like they aren't going to go anywhere. If people wanted to buy them, they pretty much bought them by now. I did a bunch of sales, and I'm not a salesman. Like I'm owning that. I'm recognizing that. I'm just not a salesman. So I'm going to be thinking of other ways to sell. I would like to make some money here and there. It's not obviously not a big priority for me. You guys know that, but yeah. So I think there's ways to make money through this just a little bit. I'm not looking for much. That I'll be moving to. One of those is moving to like a merchandising platform, such as Society 6. Right now, Wix has a platform. It's called Art Store, and it's through, I think it's called Print on Demand or something like that. Something like, I don't know. But Wix has an app that's installed in the website to be able to sell your artwork either digitally or in print form, or even printed onto things like mugs or pillows. The selection isn't huge, but there's a few things that are kind of interesting there. So I'm right now I have that set up, but I would like to move to something like Society 6 that has more options. Redbubble might be one of those places also. So that's kind of what I'm going to move to, is hopefully I can find a place where I can find a good, I guess, deal and upload my work there, my creator owned stuff, and then install like a widget from that store into my website so that people can buy from my website, but really it goes through Society 6 or whatever it is. So that's what I'll be moving towards. Not a huge rush, not something I'm pushing really hard, because that selling just isn't a big thing for me right now. It's all about the creation. But it's something I'll be moving towards. That's a big change for me. And honestly, it feels great not to have that stuff lying around. I'll still sell my original if as I do sketches or practicing values and I color and stuff. I'll print that out, or I'll color it in and sell originals as well. All right. So the other big change here I think I'm making is that I want to reduce, or actually eliminate completely, swearing in the podcast. In the Discord community, the people in there are um, apparently not thoroughly screened by me, but those are the people that I approve. It's by invite only. So there, I'm a little bit more. You'll see the more R-rated Justin, but in the podcast, I want parents to be able to listen to this without worrying about their kids hearing bad words, because I'm a parent and it's not gonna break my kids to hear bad words or anything, but it's just I don't want them to right now, so I got to put myself in other people's shoes and be sensitive to that. And there's no judgment whatsoever. It's not like I have the right way of parenting, or that not hearing swear words is the right way, but it's just, if that's the standards that I have for my life and my family, I should probably approach the rest of my life that way, especially the way I present myself on social media. Like, I want my daughter, when she does eventually have a phone, I want her to be able to follow the Art of Justin Prime. And I don't want to be, shocking her with stuff. You know what I mean? And that includes language. I think violent stuff isn't as big of a deal, but yeah, I don't know why language. I think it is. Yeah, I think she knows that I think I don't think she's never read my comics. So actually, I don't think she knows what's in there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm moving toward that, and so part of this is also like it's brand building. Astropig is a family friendly thing. The brand of Justin Prime and the Art of Justin Prime and Astropig should probably be family friendly, because that's going to be a big component of what I'm doing. So people, or not people, but companies or potential publishers that might want to work with me, I want to have the right image that really represents Astropig and me and my life as a whole, not just me personally. Because if it was just me personally, it'd be the way it is. But really, I'm a product of my family and my career. So not swearing, I think, is more representative of my life as a whole. And I think Astropig is as well. Um, and also, I've mentioned this before, and I don't know how to do this, but I would eventually like to merge my two lives together. And that's the career, which is, I work in mental health. And the other one is my art career. Hopefully you can't hear that car in the background. God. I would like to merge those together at some point. I think AstroPig is a way to do that, but I would hate to like have the therapeutic side of my life merge over to my art life, and then there's all these like decapitations and I'm killing other creator-owned characters, and I love doing that, but yeah, so I don't know how to merge those two things together and be genuine. I haven't figured that out yet, but it's not a huge deal for me right now. So all the R-rated stuff that I have, I guess I'll leave it there right now. I don't really know what to do with it. I don't want to like erase because I don't mind it, and I plan on continuing to do R-rated stuff. So it's just more something I'm thinking about right now. I guess just the swearing in the podcast is the one thing that I'll be eliminating. Um, but nothing else I'm changing. That's just kind of where I'm at. Just want you guys to know what I'm thinking. Just this is all about process and being open. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, and it's like now that I know there's a kid listening to this, at least one, I just, I wouldn't meet Stone Slab in person and swear at him. I wouldn't talk like that. So now that I'm really talking to him, to you, like I can't. It feels weird. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't talk that way to a kid on the street. Why would I leave it out there in the open for a kid to hear, or a parent, or whatever? And the other thing is, there's a couple of people I'm trying to align an interview with, and as far as their, I'll say, brand goes, that's not a part of it. So, and they have kids. There's two people I'm thinking about in particular, and they have kids. So I want to do an interview with them, and these are people I admire. I want to do an interview with them, and then I want their kids to be able to listen to their father in an interview. And if I'm swearing it up, that's gonna really put a damper on things. So yeah, there you go. But again, this is not a judgment on other people. I don't mind swearing whatsoever. In the Discord community, I won't be censoring myself, I don't think. Um, like Gary Vee, you know how much I admire him for the most part. He swears a ton. He swears to kids, but him, it's all about the message. And he's like he says, if you can't get past my swearing to get to the message, there's no point in that. Like the message isn't going to go very far with you. So it's like the swearing is not a huge deal, but just for me, it's something that I'm going to eliminate. Period. So hopefully in this podcast, I can keep to that, because otherwise I'll have to download the whole thing, find the swear words, and edit them out. And I don't want to do that. So yeah, more family friendly kind of goal that I have for myself in general. And yeah. So I don't think you guys will mind that. You'll probably be okay with that. Let's move on. My major goals. There's a lot of stuff that I want to get to tonight, or today, or this podcast. The major goals that I have for myself are mentorship. Oh, and by the way, I didn't mention this. This is how I'm learning. I'm learning through the process. This is Comic Central week. I did an interview with Lee Jeffrey. She's the CEO of Comic Central. I split that up into two parts. It is really phenomenal. There's some really good information. I loved getting to know her and talking with her. She's just a cool person, and she's a parent, and she's doing Comic Central with her team, and they're all like volunteers. They're not getting rich off this stuff. So she was just super cool. I can't wait for you guys to listen to that, to both of them, because I split it up into two parts. And then I'm going to be talking with the podcaster on Comic Central. His name is Chris. Darn, I don't have his last name in front of me. See, I'm live. I have something lined up with him on Tuesday, so hopefully that works out, and I'll have another podcast to drop next week for Comic Central week. So yeah, with that in mind, so I did this cool talk with her, and after we got done talking, after the recorded part, we kept chit-chatting without it being recorded, and she said that every now and then she gets these requests, or these like her community, the Comic Central community, they reach out to her looking for mentorship opportunities, or to see if she knows anybody. So she asked, like, are you open to being a mentor to people? And I said, yeah, I would like to do that a lot. So that's one of my major goals, is a mentorship. And my mentorship with Brendan is winding down. We only have a couple months left, probably. And I'm looking to take on and meet with, or talk with someone else in the same capacity. And I would love to record it and share the process with other people, that could benefit from it. So I think Comic Central will have some opportunities for that. Or if you're listening right now and you're interested, let me know. I would like, yeah. So I want to do that again. It's been a really great experience for me. I've grown a lot, and I think Brendan has too. The other thing here is, so my major goals are mentorship and community building. The Comic Central interview was great for community building. Like it was really good. I'm really still like on a high from that, honestly. Um, it was great. It was great community building. I joined the Comic Central community. I opened up an account, uploaded Sculptor Stories 1 and 2 and the half issue Nix. And we will be starting a weekly segment during this weekly podcast, the Jprimecast. I'll be doing a weekly segment. It's called JP's Weekly Freebies. So Comic Central has all these free comics there, and a lot of them are teasers to the ongoing series. But some of them are just like the first issue. Luke has his first issue up there, I believe, the whole first issue. And then Quran Comics has like a sampler kind of issue. So those two I absolutely recommend. They're really good. But yeah, there's all these free comics, including my own, on Comic Central. So what I'm going to be doing is picking out one each week and recommending that you give it a look. So I'll be doing that later on. So that's great community building kind of stuff. So my major goals: mentorship, community building, and let's move on to the artist inventory challenge. My projects right now are Astropig and community building, and that is it. You know where I'm at and where I've been, so that's what I'm left with: Astropig and community building. Easy peasy. Yeah, it feels. Wow, I've just realized like I'm not overburdened with projects currently. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Wow, that makes things a lot simpler. Cool. All right, so obstacles. Astropig. My goal last week was to really work hard on the pencils for Astropig before moving on. Like I wanted to kind of pencil everything out. I could have, and I didn't. So that was an obstacle or a fail. Was I did not pencil everything out. Actually, I didn't pencil out a whole lot. I penciled out the maybe 3 pages or 2.5. What I did instead was I spent a lot of time coloring, and I don't regret that. I'm glad I did because now I kind of have an end result in mind. So I spent a lot of time coloring. It's a double page spread of pages 6 and 7, which is on Instagram. You can take a look at it. And I'm really, really happy with the way it came out. There was some really good feedback that I got from people, just positive feedback. I even won my wife over. At first, she was not into the coloring, but I think she's like, yeah, it looks cool. I think she's still worried whether or not a kid's going to like it, but I think a kid will like it. And actually, I asked my followers to ask their kids, and a few people got back to me, and nothing but positive stuff to say. Kids seem to like it. So I'm really happy that I have a clearer goal of what each page will end up looking like or the style. And that's going to help me with penciling and kind of planning things out as I go along. So right now, I got a double page spread done besides the wording of the thought or the word balloons now. And I started up on the next page, and that one's going along really smoothly. So yeah, but I'm sorry, I'm going into successes here. The obstacles, I didn't pencil everything out, period. So that was a miss there. The other obstacle here is the saving and the loading times. I think I mentioned this before. Like it's taken a long time to save something, and I save pretty frequently. I think I figured out what the problem is, and I try to address this. I set it up so that usually the amount of CPU that's going toward Clip Studio Paint, I have set it 70%. Hopefully that makes sense. Like the performance, like the amount of the computer that's set to help the Clip Studio Paint run. Usually I have it at 70%, and I bumped it up to like 80 or 90, and it didn't make a huge difference. I think what the issue is I'm using like a paper filter, like a layer, like a paper filter overlay, layer to give it a papery kind of look. And I think that is one of the problems because that when that's active or when that is visible, the load times, the save times and load times seem to be longer. And then I also, when I'm doing a double page spread, I'm working on both pages at the same time. That definitely makes things go a lot slower. So the save and load times really, like, it's surprising how much time it adds on, um, to the overall speed that I'm working at, because I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and I don't know what else to do about that. Um, the other obstacle this week, as it has been the past weeks, are that I'm putting time into other things. This week, the thing that I was putting time into was shipping out the final orders. I did the blind bag final sale, and I sold the chunk. Um, but I spent a lot of time prepping that. Actually, not a lot of time, but it was a distraction. I had to organize the blind bags into the mail and blah 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 blah. So it wasn't a huge deal, but it ate away time. The other thing was cleaning out my office here, um, because I knew once the sale was over, I was going to ship them out and donate everything else, and I didn't want to waste time on that. So that took a little bit of time. Was cleaning out the office, getting everything in order, and then donating the rest of my remaining stuff. So that was like a side project. Plus, of course, family and career and all that other stuff. With community building, any obstacles? I can't think of any. Um, Possibly I'm spending too much time on it. Honestly, yeah, like I feel like things are going really well, and so I'll save that for the successes. All right. So the next part, successes. Astropig. I found like I said before, I found a unique coloring style that is a challenge, but it's also a progression of what I've been developing with my, like, that sketchy hatched style, that crosshatch style. So I feel like that style, which I really kind of am drawn to and liked, I feel like that's progressing and is at a crescendo so far with Astropig. I really feel like I've taken it to the next level, and it's cool because I'm learning as I'm doing. With Sculptor Stories, I spent so much time on prep work, and that might have been me, like, mentally trying to tell myself not to do it. But I spent so much time on prep work. Maybe I was just procrastinating and finding reasons. I don't know. But with Astropig, I'm just jumping into it and I'm telling myself I'll figure it out along the way. And that's been working out really well so far for me. So creativity, yeah, that's the other win here. The other positive is that the creativity, like the creative aspect of it, it's just coming out through the natural progress, like I just said. Um, for each page, so for like the page I'm working on right now, his ship is landed. He's just sitting inside of it, looking out the window, and he's checking out the terrain, right? And with Ash, I'm sorry, with Sculptor Stories, the way I would have handled that probably was designing the terrain, designing creatures to populate it separately. And I did a little bit of that with Astropig, not too much. But what I've ended up doing is I'm just opening up the page and I'm drawing. So it's like I know the ship goes here, I know the panel goes over here, I know what's in that panel, I know what's outside the panel. Everything, all the details, I don't know. So I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go along. And really, I'm like tonight, I was trying to figure out what a certain plant looked like, or a plant. I want to make the everything kind of unique, and I didn't know what it looked like, so I just let my hand and the pen do the talking. I just kind of went with whatever I was feeling, and I've come up with a kind of a cool shape, I think. And then that turned into, okay, well, what kind of a creature would be eating this? So I threw something in there that just kind of off the top of my head. So it's just kind of like it's just pure creativity. It feels like, honestly. So I'm huge success. I'm really really happy with the way Afterpick is going, and it's mine, and and I have complete control over it, and you know how important that is to me. So the other success would be with community building. This is Comic Central week. To me, that's a big win. Talking with the CEO Lee Jeffrey. Oh, and Chris Hendricks. That's his name. And then upcoming talk with Chris Hendricks. These are, like, to me, these are huge huge wins. Talking with Lee Jeffrey. Um, it was different. It was like, to me, it felt like an upgrade for me doing interviews. It was it felt like a bigger fish that I tackled, or caught, I guess. And then I have a couple other, in my opinion, bigger fish, like people that I really admire and consider that I to be like my superiors in every way. So I feel like a lot of growth through the podcast. I'm very driven. Yeah, it is just lots of wins for the podcast for me, and just tons of space to grow. So the community building aspect through the podcast has been pretty solid. At this point, I have like 2 weeks worth of content that I've scheduled out, and that's twice a week plus this one I do every Sunday night. But yeah, I have 2 weeks worth of talks, and it's with people. So there's Lee Jeffrey. I haven't done the one with Chris Hendricks, but I think next week I'll have 3 pieces out plus the weekly Jprimecast. The week after that, I have a talk with Sean Miller, who does Kid Sherlock through Action Lab. And then I also spoke with Gordon Willis, who's part of the community, talking about parenting and creating and time and whatnot. That was fun. That was a fun talk. So yeah, 2 weeks worth of stuff. I'm really excited about that. I might take a week off of podcasting and actually like give a lot of time into Astropic. Like that's pretty exciting. So let's talk about the goals for the week. I think my goal for the week is that I will not be doing any podcasting besides on Tuesday talking with Chris from Comic Central. I think I'll take a week off. So that would be from like Wednesday to Wednesday, besides the Sunday night where I do my own thing. But yeah, Wednesday to Wednesday, I will not schedule or do any podcasts. And there's a good chance I'll break that promise because I really like doing this. But having a solid week to work on Astropick sounds like it'd be the right thing to do. So I think there's a good chance I'll do that. The other goal for the week is, whether or not I take the week off. I need to, but I can't promise it. But whether or not I do, I need to continue to work on the pages. That's not a problem. All my spare time right now in life is going toward Astropig besides the podcast. So yeah, I'll definitely continue to work on pages. I'm very, very motivated to do that right now, and it feels great. I want to continue to increase my engagement on Instagram. And what I mean by that is my interactions with other people. The weekly challenge from last week, which I'll talk about later, was a really good exercise that Luke Lab 5 had given us. And it's something I want to keep doing on a consistent basis. I've dipped in and out of engaging with others and being a part of the community, but I want to do that. And that also includes on my Comic Central account. I would like to spend more time on there because that's all independent people, and that's what I do on the podcast, so that makes sense. Okay, so my other goal, so far it's no podcasting from Wednesday to Wednesday, continue to work on pages, continue with the engagement, and then the fourth one is I want to bring lots and lots and lots of value to Comic Central. I want to bring them way more than they're giving me, and the reason for that is because I want them to win, just period, first off. But Lee's good people. Like, she's just good people, and it sounds like she's working with good people, and that makes me just want to give. And I know somewhere down the line that will pay off, but it's just more about I want them to win. So I will this week I'll be bringing them a lot of value that they didn't ask for. One way that I'm going to be doing that is I want to post some quotes from Lee. She had a lot of good stuff, but there's 4 or 5 that really stuck out to me that I want to share with everybody. So I'll post those throughout the week. I'm sure talking with Chris will do the same thing, and I want to plug Comic Central throughout the week. Also, I really want my people, my followers to know who Comic Central is, because I think what they're doing is really good quality stuff, and awesome for the independent community. So yeah. And the other thing is I want to brainstorm about how to bring them even more value. I kind of have a very, very loose idea in my head, but I don't know how that could work. So I'm going to think about it a little bit more, and then maybe reach out to Lee and see what she thinks about it. Yeah. All right. So that's my goals for the week. Bring lots of value to Comic Central. Keep my engagement going, if not increase it. Continue to work on pages, if not more. And then take a break from podcasting from Wednesday to Wednesday. So that means I can do a lot on Monday or Tuesday. No. So yeah, Wednesday to Wednesday. All right. New segment, JP Weekly Freebie. This came out of my talk with Lee. and well, you'll hear it next week. But we thought it'd be a fun idea if I did a spotlight on a free comic from Comic Central, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, this is the first time I'll do it, and my pick this week is Champions of Hara or Hera. I'll say Hera. Champions of Hera. There's also a Instagram account. I believe it's called Champions of Hera, all one word. This is written by Walter Barber. The art, colors, and letters are by Jason Piperberg. And it looks like the comic was actually a complement to a board game, and I think the board game they did through Kickstarter. But there's also a comic, and I wanted to. I don't know enough about how those connect, but like it looks like the comic is is media that accompanies the board game, which is really cool. Um, yeah. So the it's just it's a teaser, not just a teaser. It's a teaser to what happens later in the series. It just kind of sets it up with some backstory, and the story is really cool. There's solid execution every page, every panel. The story is pretty intriguing. The technology is intriguing. There's some great imagination in it. It's some really cool, like I mean, it's short, but it's just to experience what they're doing. It was really neat. It's a great solid teaser. I definitely recommend you give it a read. Champions of Hara on Comic Central. There you go. All right. So what tools am I using this week? You guessed it, comiccentral.com. Comiccentral.com is super easy. They didn't tell me to do this. They're not paying me to do this. This is the tool I'm using for the week. I started my account and I submitted Scolder Stories 1 and 2 plus the teaser for free. So anyone can read those. And hopefully Comic Central will get some new eyeballs or direction from having Scolders on there. But yeah, comiccentral.com is super easy to use. I fully plan on having something on their platform that I can monetize. And I love that you keep 90% of your earnings. Them only keeping 10% seems ridiculously low, but I'm not going to complain. So I fully plan on having something on there that I can monetize at some point. Yeah, so I have all three Scolders there for free, like I said. I just want to give them some solid free work on their website that people can get curious about. A few people have already downloaded it and hopefully enjoyed it. And I don't need that stuff on my website anymore, so I might leave that there as its home. And I love that there's another place where I can keep Scolder Stories that has a home. And if I think it's super cozy there. I don't know if I'll have that on my website anymore since I'll be focusing more on Astropig. I don't need a Scolderpedia. I can make that the Astropedia. So yeah, it's just kind of timely, honestly, having them as a resource with all the changes that I've been going through. It works out really well. And especially since I'm doing more of a family-friendly kind of thing, Scolders on my website just doesn't work anymore. You know, there's even a social component on Comic Central. You can friend each other. So find me. It's Justin Prime. Find me and friend me. You can give updates on the website. It's like a mini social media platform. Nothing too heavy, and not something you would go like as your go to. But the people you do know that you friend on the website, it's kind of cool. You can see them update stuff. So I updated that I did a interview with Lee on there. That's like the first thing I said. I've already found Luke on there, Luke Lab 5 Studios. We friended each other. Very cool. Yeah, so it's good. And if you don't have a website, if you're making comics but you don't have a website, you can use I don't know if they intended it this way, but you can use Comic Central as like your website because you can put pretty much any information you want to. You can put like a bio and links, and you can do updates. I probably could do progress shots. I believe you can have all the projects you're working on, even the ones that aren't finished. You can have, if you finish one, you can put it up there and sell it, or give it away for free. So it really acts as a nice little like homepage if you don't have one already, and you don't have to pay for it, which is phenomenal. So yeah, it's cool. I highly recommend using comiccentral.com. I looked at a couple other ones like hosting platforms, and I don't know, I wasn't too impressed, but this one's really cool. So who do I follow? This This is gonna be a little bit different, right? So who I follow? It's at IT Comics. It's Impact Theory. This is from Tom and Lisa Bilyeu. Oh, hope I didn't pronounce that right or wrong. Tom and Lisa Bilyeu. It's IT Comics or It Comics, and I'm gonna quote a lot of. I looked at their website today, just to kind of read more about their new publishing platform and more about Impact Theory. IT stands for Impact Theory. So I'm actually I'm going to quote directly from them a lot here. I first saw Tom. So Tom is the host of Impact Theory. I first saw him, I think, when he was talking to Gary Vaynerchuk. You guys know how much I like him. And then I saw him do an interview with Mel Robbins. She's another, kind of successful, motivational, self empowerment kind of person. So he talked to them on his Impact Theory show. It's an interview platform. He talks with, and it says on the website, it says he talks with the world's highest achievers. Like, that's just phenomenal. So Impact Theory is really cool to watch. It's just a super quality show with some really great people. And the fact that they're doing a comic book that Tom is doing a comic book, putting one together. He's not drawing it. He's like, I guess, kind of like the producer, I think I would say. And the co-founder of IT Comics is his wife Lisa, which is that's super cool. I like that a lot. And both of them they're winners. Like, if you look at their Instagram accounts, they're just winners. They're both successful people, very very motivated. And Lisa is an artist herself. She has a couple of pieces she's put up on her Instagram. So it's just all around just super cool. So it's like I feel like it's gonna win. I feel like IT Comics is built by winners and it's going to win. On the website, it says we want to end the poverty of poor mindset. We'll be running this company like an economic engine and not a nonprofit. That is the only way for us to control our own destiny and not approach the world with our hand out. Additionally, the market gives instant and brutal feedback as to whether or not you're delivering value. So these guys are like sink or swim, and they're okay with that, and they embrace it. I love the winning mindset. I'm really really excited, genuinely excited to see what they're going to do, and I think that they've got. I don't want to say they got it down because I don't think they would ever say they've perfected it. The that positive kind of thinking and growth mindset and whatnot, but they're farther along than I am, and I think that what they're doing is very much in line with my goals for the podcast here. It's obviously definitely next level stuff, but it's there because a lot of what I do is talking about those mental and emotional obstacles as well as the practical ones, but empowerment, positivity, motivation, I would love to get more of that onto my podcast. It says on the website, I love this. It says stories. This is the website or the page dedicated to IT Comics. Stories became fun but empty, calories with no substance. Our heroes earn their powers. They work their asses off and struggle. They fail, embarrass themselves, get back up, learn, and push forward, daring to face the most terrifying monsters. They discover through adversity what they are really capable of. In the Impact Theory universe, there are real consequences. Life is hard. Not everyone wins. Sometimes people die, but always people learn and grow stronger. That's phenomenal. I love that. Like, Marvel's not saying that stuff. DC's not saying that. That's like, I love that there's a very clear mindset for the Impact Theory brand, and it translates directly into the comic book. So I'm really excited. Can't keep saying that. I'm going to keep reading here. It says, no matter what Impact Theory story you read, you will have changed as much as the character. That's our mission, that you walk away with the conviction that anything is possible if you're just willing to pay the price of change. That's gold. I love that. So you guys, hopefully you're excited as I am. I'm really, really interested to see where this goes. I signed up for their email list, which I never ever do. I think Quran Comics is the only other email list I signed up for. I don't like email lists, but I'm just so intrigued. Their first book comes out on October 3rd at New York Comic Con. They have this really cool tiered like goal, like progression. And so one of their steps is, well, I guess the final step is to release their first issue at New York Comic Con. So my goal here is I want to do an interview with with Tom or Lisa or really anyone from the team, I want to do an interview with them. I want to talk to them, and my goal here is to provide as much value to them by letting you guys know about it and how excited I am, versus begging them for an interview. And sadly, that's kind of what I did. The first thing I got excited, and I DM'd IT Comics, and I DM'd Lisa, and just asked for an interview. And that's, it's just, they don't know me. They don't know me at all. I'm an unproven podcast. I'm growing, but I haven't been around very long. So I think I went about that all wrong. And honestly, listening to Gary Vaynerchuk recently, he touched upon that you really have to build a relationship first. So that's my goal, is to build a relationship, bring them value that they didn't ask for. So I'll be engaging with their posts. I'm really focusing on building a relationship. Um, I'll be very patient, but I really want to talk with one or both of them. Um, as I engage in their posts, I'm not going to be doing. It's not going to be fake. Like I want to comment in, like in heart or whatever, when it's genuine. Like today, they had a post that I saw. Their feed's not too deep. It's pretty new, but there was a post about what's it called? Oh no, Line Comics, something like that. Some comic platform, some online streaming platform. And so I just thanked them for posting that and let them know that I was going to download it, and I did install it. But it's just, it was a genuine thing. Like, oh, I didn't know about this. Appreciate that. I'll be installing it. So I want them to see my name in their feed, and I want it to be genuine, not just like, hey, that's cool or whatever. But you know, so I'll be using a lot of patience, but make no mistake, I do want to speak with them. Like, that is a goal besides building a relationship. I want to speak to them because I know that what they bring to the table is ridiculously valuable to the people listening right now. It's just, I have to get them on. So, the other thing is I turned on notifications. I don't turn on notifications for anyone, but I want to know when they're posting immediately. And I want to engage. If I feel that, if I'm feeling it, I want to engage with them, leave a comment or whatever. And I don't do that. I don't ever turn on notifications. I don't like being bothered. But I'm really, really excited about this, and I have a goal here. So hopefully I can win them over just through, positivity and engagement, and bringing them value that they didn't ask for. So yeah, who's following me? Oh, I didn't prep this one. Darn it! I'm gonna skip that one. Last week's challenge updates. I have a lot of material this time, so I'm gonna skip over that. Last week's challenge updates. The goal, or the challenge last week, the Lab 5 weekly challenge, was to engage with the hashtag, or any hashtag that you, I guess, relate to. So I used creator owned, hashtag make comics, hashtag making comics, hashtag independent comics, stuff like that. My goal last week was to spend about 20 minutes per day doing that. And honestly, doing that more often would be great. For me, it's a balancing act of the podcast, the engagement like that, and then creating AstroPix. So 20 minutes per day was my goal. I wish I had more time for it, but I can't sacrifice it in the other areas. I'm not, if I had leisure time to take it away from, I would, but I don't do any more leisure time. It's all going towards something. So anyhow, so I spend about 20 minutes per day. And I got a new chunk of followers from it, actually. There was some definite measurable, I didn't measure it, but there are measurable results. I have more followers, significantly more followers this week than I did last week. And that's despite me, people, I lose followers all the time. So I lost followers, but the amount that I gained from this activity outweighed that significantly. It was a pretty good little jump. And what's really cool is that all these new followers that I got are independent creators. These are people that are creating independent comics. So that's perfect for my podcast. Hopefully they are listening right now. And thank you for following, by the way. But that's perfect. That's a lot better than me drawing Venom and someone looking up that hashtag, because I'd rather have the independent creators right now than the people who want me to draw Venom. Yeah, you know what's up. Yeah, like this was not easy. You would think that just holding your phone and interacting with people would be easy, but it can be really mind numbing. It can be so mind numbing. And I found myself being disingenuous, so I had to correct that. But I think the other obstacle was focusing on this for an extended period of time. It just got boring. So the adjustment that I made was I made sure to be very, very genuine. I didn't leave any comments that weren't sincere. Like I really meant it when I asked a question or left a comment. It was genuine. Like on inking or on layouts or whatever it was genuine. I started off disingenuine. Actually, I started off genuine, and then I was like, you know what? Why don't I switch this up and I'll look up like hashtag pigs because I'm doing Astro Pig. So I looked that up, and I started liking and leaving comments like, "Oh, cute." I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it at all. But I thought people that are into pigs might be into Astro Pig. So the whole mindset was wrong. It was more about me potentially making a sale down the road and getting a follower for a potential sale rather than building my community and leaving genuine comments. So I stopped that right away. What's funny is that now I have a couple of followers who are into pigs, but whatever. That's cool. Welcome if you guys are listening. Um, yeah, so that's the adjustment that I made was to make sure I was being very, very genuine and not faking it. It's about community building, not transaction building. Right. Oh, well, the other thing was it was really cool to see. I saw some Discord members in the hashtags actually pretty frequently. I was super happy to see you guys there. That was really cool. That means like you're all working. That's just awesome. You guys are putting the work in. Probably more than me. The past couple of days, I haven't posted anything to Instagram besides my stories. Yeah, that it's on the weekends. It's harder for me, but you guys are putting the work in, and I'm proud of you. That's awesome. So the other thing I noticed that through doing this activity is that not everybody responds. And I don't get that. Like, what if you're on social media, you should be responding and as fast as you possibly can. Really, I think actually Instagram with the new changes, new word changes that they reward when you respond within like an hour to your post when someone comments on your post. So yeah, I was really surprised that because I was leaving a lot of stuff out there and not everyone responds. Some people just leave a little, they like your comment and that's it. But hopefully, people I know the people in the Discord community that you guys are doing a higher level of engagement because I see you doing it. So yeah, but I was surprised to see how many people don't do that. But you have to, like we have to. Um, and the other thing that I thought of is last point here is that I think it's really important to have something interesting to look at. So just think about the people that come to your site. Like you leave a comment or question, and they get curious about you and they check out your Instagram. It's probably a good idea to have something really interesting as your last post. Um, and that could be a whole bunch of different things, but I know for my last post, it's still sitting there right now. It was a work in progress thing, but it wasn't a cool looking picture. It was just honestly kind of ugly, more on the uglier side. I think I posted it because I felt like I should post something just to have something up there. Um, yeah, it's still there. It's not very attractive. Yeah. So I feel like I might have missed some followers because people saw that and were like, and they walked away. Or not walked, but. So yeah, the idea here is that you're only as good as your last post, and mine was kind of weak. That's another Gary Vaynerchuk idea. He says a lot is you're only as good as your last post. So yeah. All right. So Lab 5 weekly challenge. Oh, you know what? I get to. This is the live part is stopping. I made it all the way through without any swear words. That's phenomenal. Good job, Justin. All right, let's hear what the Lab 5 weekly challenge is.
What's up, Jprimecasters? It's Luke here with another weekly challenge. So we've been keeping the challenges pretty simple lately. We haven't wanted to pull people too far out of their personal projects, but I think it's about time we had a bit of fun again. So what I'm thinking is this week we do a popular character redesign. So pick a popular character and reimagine it and draw it and share on your social media, on Discord, everywhere. I'm probably going to look at Ninja Turtles, but we'll wait and see. Thing is, have some fun. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Luke. That's a great activity, man. When we talked about, or actually when you gave me kind of an idea of what you were thinking, I don't know if I was going to be able to do it because I'm so focused on other stuff right now. But honestly, I'm going to set aside a work to do Astro. I'm sorry, set aside a week to work on Astro Pig, and I think having a break and redesigning like Probably Venom or Spider-Man, let's be honest. Um, that'd be like a good mental break. So I think this is actually quite timely. So thank you very much, Luke. Challenge accepted. So thank you everyone for listening. If you're still listening, you belong in the Jprimecast community. We are. Well, I did some. I booted some people recently. I think we're up to like 15, 16. We're at a good number. I'm thinking I'll open it up to like 20, and then at 20 I might shut down the invites and not bring anybody new in for a little bit. I don't know, just a loose idea. So if you want in, now's the time. But yeah, if you're listening still, you definitely belong in the Jprimecast community. It's by invite only. I have no idea who you are, so you gotta DM me or email me at justinprime@yahoo.com and let me know you want to join in. It's great support for beginners, for amateurs, for non-professionals, just like you and me. There's practical advice, there's feedback from other independents, there's inspiration, motivation, collaboration, and more. There's no cost, just good times. You belong there. Hit me up, and you will be welcome to join. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. This was the first time I really kind of tried to go through this all at once. I feel like it went pretty well. Not swearing, that's cool. And yeah, this is a great skill builder. At some point, I'll be doing these things live. Oh, by the way, I have my secret project. I guess I'm calling it my secret project now. Uh, I'm doing some really good brainstorming. I'm getting a little bit excited about it. I'm not going to say anything else. All right, so I'm just keeping it to myself. But it's gonna be. Oh, I almost swore. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really cool if I ever get to it. Right now, I'm just flirting. We're flirting. We're just flirting right now. But if we were ever to move forward with it, it'd be pretty sweet. I think it'd be a good thing for Comic Central. By the way, go to comiccentral.com, sign up for an account, and thank you very much for listening. Bye.